Hi there, Remy. You might have noticed in the last few days that I haven't posted many reviews or news in the way of links to the page, and that's because I want to try out a new style of coverage where I create a video and I cover some news highlights, some review highlights, as well as adding my own commentary. Now, you might have noticed our release of the Don't Rent Me postcard, and I just want to explain to you what the intention of that is and how as a community we can use that. The idea is when we receive a review, we hope that you are just as outraged as we are when we read it. And we would hope that when we cover a review, when we make sure you're aware of the review, you can join us in your outrage and disgust by actually sending these postcards to the agents or landlords involved so that they know they haven't gotten away with it and that it's not okay to treat tenants this way. And imagine what it would be like when they've done this and they think they've got away with it, and all of a sudden a whole bunch of postcards show up reminding them of that, and then they can go on the site, read it, and realise they've been outed. Now, I read recently on Domain an article which describes tenants as having more power in Brisbane. This isn't because of a change to any sort of tenant law or a change of heart with the landlords in Brisbane. I can assure you of that much. Instead, it's because there's now an oversupply of apartments in the Brisbane CBD, so much so that there aren't enough tenants to actually fill them. So now we're reportedly seeing landlords actually give a damn. That's because they need tenants more than tenants need them. Who knew that taking advantage of generous negative gearing provisions to try and take advantage of those tenants by squeezing them out of the market would have a negative effect? Well, that's right, anyone with half a brain, and anyone who understands the consequences of greed. So enjoy that, Brisbane tenants. Don't forget, you're now a scarce resource to investors up there, so use it to your advantage, find cheaper rents, and hold your landlord to account under their requirements and responsibilities. Now, funnily enough, in Brisbane we have a review that explains an agent who likes to use the words as is to evade any kind of repair or request from the tenant. This includes smashed up power outlets that prevent the power company from even switching on the power, as well as a house that features no light bulbs, an overgrown yard, mould everywhere. The tenant got so sick of conditions they ended up retiling the bathroom and replacing toilet seats due to the filthy conditions. And Precinct's response to all of this? Well, you're renting it as is. Now, I just want to remind all tenants out there that this as is excuse is actually illegal. The landlord can't shirk his responsibility under the legislation to provide you with a habitable place to call home. So don't accept this. Again, it's unlawful, and you should take every effort you can to take these sorts of scum to the tribunal if that's what it takes. Now, it's said in this review for Preston, Victoria, whose property is managed by Love Real Estate, that when it came time for the third lease renewal, the tenant asked for faults and hazards with the property to be repaired, before any other rent increase, that is. The agent and landlord's response? Well, they served the tenants with a no grounds eviction on Christmas Eve. I cannot stress enough the importance of putting everything in writing. This would have been a perfect opportunity to demonstrate an illegal and retaliatory eviction, as well as a chance for the landlord to have his very own New Year's resolution, which is, don't be such a law-breaking arsehole. Now lastly, we have a tenant for Mason Gray Strange Real Estate in Adelaide who had successfully been to Magistrates Court in order to get their bond back. So what did the agent do? Well, they forged the tenant's signature so that they could get the money back for themselves, ignoring the Magistrates Court decision and apparently having no issue with breaking numerous laws. Now, I really don't have any words for this, especially because the reviewer says they gave up, having already spent so much time in the first place getting that court order, and so they subsequently let the agent get away with it. Now please, do not let anyone get away for doing these things to you. It's highly illegal, and we really need to take a united stance and just not tolerate these sorts of practices. Now guys, you'll find the links to these reviews in the description, and I hope you'll join me in sending some postcards, because I certainly will.